Yeah, welcome, like turtles. I see you made some good points in there. You can go ahead and we have been given many chances to correct the source of history, but we sit as victims. Yeah, go ahead and expound on some of the things that you're saying, brother.
Blessed Virgin, blessed.
All right.
I haven't been going live for a while because talking to the average man these days is very painful. But me know my sound conceited, but it is. Now I'm listening to the conversation with all the brilliant persons you have here in the panel, and it's very interesting. As I said, it's been years since I go into the box. I used to be popular in here. Now I'm going to say this. We as black people, we can trace our lineage to a land. You look in South Africa, we have the indigenous man. You look in Australia, you have the indigenous man. You look in America, Central, North, and South America, even the Caribbean. We have been all around the world. At some point, we must have been technologically developed to be able to travel the world, so much so that when the white man came about, he calls these places the New World. He had to establish a new world, give it names. These places had names and history before. But we, the brown or colored skinned persons, the melanated folks, we understood nature. We understood technology. We understood for our survival on this planet and for those who come after us that we have to build things that last, and we have to build things that entwine with nature and doesn't interrupt nature. Ever since this man came on earth, I cannot trace his history more than a couple thousand years. But ever since he stepped up and we gave him a chance, welcoming him to our lands, he has displaced, brought disease, destroyed, and discontinued. Wherever he is, he seems to behave as if he's a virus, an invasive species.
Satan.
And he likes to tell himself that wherever he goes, he's superior. But this is where the problem for me is. Our people sit back and allow him to think that he's superior. I mean, many warriors step forward and say, listen, Marcus Garvey, I don't think people understand how great he was when he came and said, up you mighty race. You must say, uno a who? But uno dep on plantation at about no a slave and a ball for freedom. Up. So, this one of the greatest civil rights movement was started by that man, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So much so that the CIA basically was built to take him down. Basically. And when Garvey came back to Jamaica, we stoned him. I don't know if one of our great grandparents was one of those children who stoned him. We didn't give any honors to Marcus Garvey. Other places honored him. Then we decided to make him a national hero. We had Bob Marley come and spread a message of love. We have the Martin Luther Kings. We have the Malcolm X. We have the sellout Mandela. We have so many great African prophets who step forward, and we watch as they are betrayed, they are killed, and their history and names have been tarnished. And we did nothing more than pray. We pray to gods that were beaten into our flesh, speaking languages that was beaten into our skin. And if a man chat little part, we say him can't talk good. But you see, the black man is displaced in the world because the words he is speaking, he doesn't understand these words. Words are developed from the soil, from a man's culture. Words are developed from a man's history. So when you see a politician step up on a stage and start to speak to the mass, he's speaking an alien language to people who cannot relate to that language. For example, if me come to you and ask you a question, and I say, yo, Ras, why the sky blue? And you say, me no know. The me no know expression is from your feeling. It's from the depths of your soul. But someone say, speak proper. And you say, oh, I do not know. You have alienated your culture, your history, and your development. This is why we cannot identify with these people. This is why the black man is misplaced anywhere he goes in the world. He has abandoned his culture and his history. He has taken up aliens and tried to be like aliens and tried to identify with aliens and call himself elevated once he does. He has been lost. So every now and then, great men like Ibrahim Traore, Sankara, Thomas Sankara, you understand? You will always have another black man who sees a man of truth come up and they say, let us take him down. How can we do this? Use another black man. We have been blaming the white man for centuries now. We have been giving multimillionaires, billionaires, and what they do, they become victims, they become puppets for the white man. I mean, Tyler Perry now is just introducing misogyny, toxic feminism, and hate in the black culture, further separating black man and black woman from each other, the basis of the black family, the basis of black power. Now, there is a war against our people, and we don't want to admit it. We like to pretend that it's not there. We like to say, no, everyone, let's be accepting of everything. But first and foremost, whenever there's a new disease present, you will find companies like the USAID and all of these foreign bodies present in those countries giving out donations, foods, clothing, and water and all kind of things that we have from the land naturally. And suddenly there's an outbreak of a new disease or virus. We are being tested like monkeys. We are being treated like monkeys. Our effort, our strength, and our essence has been collected by these people. So they put liquor stores in our communities. They put birth control and in pharmacies, make them free, family planning free for our women. They have told the women in the United States, in certain cities especially, that, hey, if you have a man, you can't go on the welfare, what we call it, party in Jamaica. You understand? So they have disrupted the hierarchy of society. They are saying if you as a woman have a man, you don't need to be on this. So the woman has married herself to the governing body of the country. She no longer is obedient to her husband. This is why you find that her boss has more talk over her than you. So first thing, as a black man, your woman doesn't respect you. Your children doesn't aspire to be like you. So why should I, another man, respect you or take you serious when you come up in business and say, I am of equal footing. I was once a king. I was once a pharaoh. How can you prove it when your language is of my father's language? You don't even speak your own people language. In Jamaica, can you show me one syllabus where we speak or we introduce any African dialects to our children? We're speaking French, Spanish, all these languages that has nothing to do with our history. You know what Patois is? Patois is the perfect blend of multiple languages. Even when you say oi, that's Japanese, that's Chinese, that's Mandarin. For hey, every word that you hear in the Patois is a perfect blend of multiple languages, because we are people of multiple nationalities and backgrounds. Now, with all of that, let me cut it short. I don't want to take up your program, boss. We, the black man and black woman, haven't positioned ourselves in places of power. Look at Oprah Winfrey, one of the greatest journalists, female journalists, and a billionaire. What has she done? If you follow Oprah, if you follow Gayle King, most of their time is spent in demonizing black men while supporting white pedophiles and the white rapists. If you follow the black men now, you find out that they idolize the white woman, they chase her flesh while abandoning the black woman. So
Right.
the black kids grow up with no role models, no leadership, no family settings, feelings, or anywhere safe grounds. We cannot create an army. We cannot create history. We cannot build a society without a strong foundation. And the foundation of a man is his family. Now, in Jamaica, the average man my age right now, we cannot even speak our grandfather's proper name. If you ask him what was your grandfather's name, boy, then so a man over there named Johnson or something like so. If you ask him where are the lands that Mr. Johnson left for you, they tell you that, boy, me hear say my grandfather have some holy land at St. Elizabeth, but some people capture it now and they gone, I just so. When you ask mommy who am my real father, she point out, she tell you, say, but I don't want your father, but you hear rumors someone next man is your father. So what you have seen there is that you have no footing to go up against anybody in the world. Remember, the greatest weapon a black man could possess back in the day, especially upon the plantation, was knowledge, was the ability to read. If them find out say you can't read, them cut out your tongue. Now today we are reading, we are singing, we are expressing ourselves free from persecution. Are we still done? I believe that to be, I think to be illiterate is a disrespect to our ancestors. We do not know our lineage. How much of us can trace our ancestry by name? We don't know where we come from, or if we know where we are go. We don't know footing. You don't know lands. Lands is the basis of power. While the white man and the Indian man come to Jamaica, him go capture some land up in the hills quick, build a farm, and then him build an organization and make few people work for him. My grandfather out there dance back at Maisie, Patsy, and Hartens, and him a dance and wine and drink rum and say him have 10 pitney. And when he dead, 10 pitney with 10 empty hands, because only in the black community here we tell our children, let us start from zero. Come out of my house, go start your own. And when we're doing this for generations and generations, there's no generation. Come out of my house, go start your own. And when we're doing this for generations and generations, there's no generational wealth. And we call it generational curse. It is generational bad habits. It is generational failure. How can we correct this? We need to accumulate lands, accumulate the proper family structure, learn our history, pass on our history, pass on our wealth, and teaching each other. That's the only way. Until we do that, we'll always be starting from zero and blaming another nation of man who put us into bondage. Make our exit.
Yes, thanks for sharing that.
Brilliant. I'm here listening and I thought that was well said. You really together the whole idea behind what we were discussing. You're back, Cosmic.
Yes, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for
Okay,
sharing that
the
thought.
Wi-Fi just trip out and I switch to the mobile data. I'll switch back to the Wi-Fi and see if it'll work. Stay with me 1 second. Yeah, yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we're hearing you. You know,
Loud and clear.
the
Yeah,
thoughts
I
that you
told you
just shared,
the way.
Turtle, was really, really inspiring. But so my question
Yeah,
is, looking forward, how do we then make that paradigm shift, that pivot from not knowing to now knowing what is reality, from what perception, from what they gave us, which was this false narrative, this their story, and taking our story without knowing the history of or
So,
the full.
okay. Should I answer now, Gary?
I was
All
going
right,
to
so I'm
ask
try
you
answer
yes,
what you say.
before you move on to the answers, Gary, I did want to address some things what him say. But can I address them before
Sure,
we go
go
to your
ahead.
question? Yeah, like you mentioned a few things. We just start read. Me no know. Me speak from prophecies, right? Which I want me believe. So I must say something where you mentioned earlier about the names, the changing of the names and stuff like that. Deuteronomy 28:37, where you say, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all the nations whither the Lord shall lead thee." So wherever black people go, we would not bring our identity with us. When you think about a byword would be like a byword for Hollywood would be glamour. You know, some people say I live glamorous, yeah, I live a Hollywood lifestyle. It's a byword. So we come over here, so them tell we say we name Indians, Tainos, Arawaks. All of these are bywords. Me see people all fight over it, but we are the real Arawaks and this, we are the real Tainos and Aztecs. These are all bywords. So it doesn't matter what. Once you go back to all of these bywords, it will never bring you back to your lineage, because guess what? The reason why you give a person a byword is what? The reason why you call a person outside of their identity is because you're doing what? Stealing their indigenous rights and their birthrights. That's all what it is about. So if them fi come and take our lands, guess what? They have to make it seem as if we were not the original people for this land. So when they say, when we come and talk about say, oh, Tainos used to be here and Arawaks used to be here, where are the artifacts to prove that there were people existing here called Tainos, Arawaks, Indians, and all of those things? It was us.
Well, in White Mall and Hellshire, you have a lot of clay pots, a lot of carvings were found in caves and lands there, especially up in Hellshire. And what I can say about our history is that they came and preserved our histories in their museums and gave us a different name. They say the term out of many one people is very damning to Jamaican people, because what it's saying is that Uno are going like a Uno alone forget it. The whole of we come from here too. But the Tainos are here. They are you. You are the Tainos that they came here and saw. You are the people that they came here and saw, and them start eat Uno off. Uno and eat off, escape and turn maroons. And the rest, they brought in Africans after they realized they couldn't capture you guys. So what you have here is a mixed breed of Africans and native Jamaicans. But they are still here. They are still here.
Well, in from my standpoint is that, like I said, we were the same people that Christopher came and saw, the same people that the Nordic Vikings came and saw. We are the same people. There was nobody different like this. The Indians that they tried to show us just in this little thing around. Nah. We used to make back then what we used to make vessels from. We used to make vessels from clay. That's what we used to do back in the ancient world. Ancient civilization, that's what you put your wine in or whatever things. Everything was made from those vessels. So it's not that that's the work of Indians or Arawaks. It's the same people. And as for the Maroons you mentioned, I don't think the Maroons are the same tribes as us. Maroons are free people. Maroons were the one, even the British were mad at them when they did what they did to Paul Bogle. I don't know if you know the history between St. Thomas and Portland. Oh, I have somebody here from Portland. Blessings, your place, you know. The Portland, remember there's a track when you go to Morant Bay and go towards where the cow farm is, the dairy farm, there's a track where Paul Bogle used to travel to go towards no, that's St. Thomas, to go towards Portland, because remember, you know, Paul Bogle was a kind of deacon bishop that he did not have an army. The Maroons had an army, if you guys remember the history. So because his people were kind of like church people, like more, not warriors, but activity. He was more like an activist then, right? When he was looking towards the Portland people for aid, because they had more like a military, they were the one that betrayed him. Not the British. They did it because, remember, you know, if you have a something that you can catch the runaway slaves, it means that you were not a slave, you were a free man. And even when you look at when they gained their freedom, and you go back to Haiti, Haiti's freedom, which one was first? I mean, you think about it, when the Maroons gained their freedom, what about the other people that were living in the country? They were not free. So these are, I would not say these are the same nation of people. I believe the Maroons are Nigerians, but they are not our tribesmen, and they will never be. That's
Now, this is why I said what we have in Jamaica is a mixed breed of who were here and who were brought here. Remember, you know, persons see persons unlike each other, and they would have children. So while you have Maroons, you have the indigenous Jamaicans, and you have the Africans who were brought here on ships. So you would have a mixed breed. The only thing that could tie a man back to his lineage and genealogy in those days was name, face, and skin color. But with all of the interbreeding and mixing, you find that these have been lost to history. And even though it's been lost to history, a man's land would tell you where he comes from. Many of the towns in Jamaica are named after the owners or persons who originated from these places. So that's why the first thing they did was to establish ownership over the place by changing names of prolific places. So this is where I'm saying Jamaicans, we had the chance, black people, we had the chance to gain Matter of fact, we got a lot of these lands. We just never made it official. They changed the rules saying, okay, you no longer can take a land and say it's yours. You have to go by the books. You have to go into the registration. You pay your taxes. And we didn't. We just fence up some land, capture it, and we left it. So what you're seeing now is a huge gathering of lands by the government and their persons of interest, their benefactors. You're realizing that many of lands now are being captured to build housing schemes, sold to persons who are not the average Jamaican, because we are not the targeted audience. Me and you can't afford 45 million for one 2-bedroom house without a backyard to plant one pepper tree. So they are removing the lower class Jamaica slowly but surely. This is why you find out some of the most expensive things we have are the imported products. Who are buying imported products? May not know nothing about imported mutton. May know some Mass Joe have some goat run a back and we tell him say kill 2 goat and we buy from him. So they're importing, they're bringing in a lifestyle into Jamaica that wasn't Jamaican. This is why you're losing authentic Jamaican lifestyle. Our culture is being sold. We cannot have access to our beaches. We cannot purchase houses in the land that we were born. With that sure of our name, we don't. So you understand? And if you realize there's something that the Europeans do that we don't practice anymore, is to keep a journal. There's a reason why the white man keeps a journal, is to document his journey through life. So when he dies, his diary or his journal, his children can take it up and have clues on how to proceed. Our children are born into the world from square one because we don't left nothing for them. Not a newspaper clipping, not one medal, nothing. They just born come. As them reach 9th grade, we tell them come out of the house. So the black man has been designed to be his own downfall. He has been beaten so much. He has been fed the wrong food. He has been medically experimented on. And persons think that mind control is like what they see in movies where them shoot some power rays and you control a man. It is by his education. It is by the environment he grows up in. It is by the things his mother and father teaches them where they learn from society. So this is where you find now we have a generation that they tell you don't beat the children. But I ask persons, now that children are not being hit anymore as a means of discipline, has society benefited positively from removing corporal punishment? And the children are now more violent each generation. So they keep telling you that, hey, this is the generation of vipers because they were slowly creating it. We are 300 to 400 years behind the psychological manipulation that these people have created. For 300 to 400 years, we weren't allowed to read, allowed to own lands, allowed to vote. We haven't been able to partake in the human race for nearly half a millennia, 500 years. So if you think about it, it is up to us to get ourselves educated, own lands, and prepare to pass on our lands, create lasting family legacies and names, and create our history, recreate our history. Because it is in our DNA. The way the dances that we create in Jamaica, it is similar to the Africans, and it's like we do it by nature. Our cooking, our food, our bodies cannot process the processed food like their bodies. That is why we have the diabetes, the hypertension, and these sicknesses. That is why we have the stomach cancers, because we cannot process like them. They are made artificially. It's like you have a white fall versus the common fall, the jungle fall, the jungle African fall.
So, what you know? Like turtles, it's the same thing we talk about. Me see you mention in one comment about biblical people. So me say you're in alignment with that type of thing, because we never know which part you stand. But regarding that then, right, it's the same thing we are trying to tell the people, because we still have to come back to a God. It doesn't matter what your concept of God is. I'm talking about a way of life. So just as I mentioned, say these people can eat pork and nothing do them. We not have the same build, just like how we can go in our sun and not do it. Them can go in our sun the same way how we can. We not have the same build. So if we understand what the foods, what these artificial foods do to we, you understand? Then we need to start separate ourselves. That is the beginning of our way out of this mess. There has to be a separation. The age of information is coming to an end. You understand? The age of knowledge, all of that. It's about the separation, or you set apart yourself from these things. So you know, say them a food and now we can't put in my system anymore. And the next thing you mentioned about the family structure, that's a very important thing. And if you watch most of my content, you know, is me really the try, cause me see where more women have more potential, to be honest. You know? So for me see where we can't go forward without the female. We want them on our side. But a lot of these women, they still want to have the government as their sidemen. They still want to have 119 and speed dial, and that cannot work. They have to pick a side. Is either they're going to team with us or they're going to be part of the system. So this is what we really want to establish back that structure. You understand? We need to have back black family structure. We don't want to know, say, we depend on a mission and the woman them stand with the government. You understand? We want to start there. Start by establishing real family structure and then go out. Yeah, go ahead.
May I paint a picture? Sorry for the slow talking, because I really want my people to understand what's happening. May I paint a picture? You, a free man, don't understand nothing other than being free and living off the land. And one day you have been captured and brought to a land you know nothing about. Even now if you travel to America as a modern man with all your modern freedoms and luxuries, you have to take time to adjust mentally and physically. Because if you just go over New York and start drinking water, your belly run. If you don't have a concept of how time works over there, you get confused. Now, imagine yourself a man from the village, from a kingdom was taken, brought into a land you know nothing about. And on that journey, you had to sleep beside men in feces. Your sister, at night time you hear your sister get touched. And you're so angry you wanted to protect her, because it is instinctive of men to protect women and provide for women. But you have been chained down. You cannot do nothing. You're under the deck. She doesn't see this. All she knows is that she hasn't been protected. She doesn't feel secure. And you, the man who was supposed to be able to help her, cannot help her, but she doesn't know why. She's not sure why. Now you've been brought to the plantation and you've been beaten. You run so much time because you want to escape, but you don't know where to run to because you're not from this place. And you call yourself Kwame Chore or some African name, but then beat you and say, no man, your name Toby. You no name no Kunta Kinte or no Shaka Zulu, your name Toby Smith. So automatically, him stop call you man, him call you boy. And tell you so when you talk, no looking at him face, you have to look down. But you still rebellious, you fight, him chop off two of your finger because you're property. And when him chop off your hand, him tell you so, well, if I want thing, you're 6 foot tall, so you're big and strong, so you can give me a whole heap of pups. So him turn you to your sister now, and after him already take her maiden, and give her one piece of dress. She not ugly, so him bring her in her house at night time, go enjoy himself. There's a movie about this named Uncle Tom's Cabin. They have removed this movie from media. I have this movie, I wish I could share it with people. Women would watch it and cry. Your sister is 13 years old, and whenever Master ready now, Master take her into the house. And him do what him want to her until she finally get pregnant and have a mulatto baby. That baby now becomes her son and brother because Master is father. Now you they want to protect the black woman, but you can't do nothing because everything you do, you lose a limb feet, so you have to watch a black woman suffer. But she still say, why the black man them not rise up? Look how him big and strong. And this pale man has him a beat him. Why make him not rise up? So the woman has lost all hope in you saving her finally. She has been broken. As them call it, them broke her. You as the black man has been broken because you fail to do what you instinctively want to do, protect and provide for the black woman. You are not allowed to start a family because when you start a family, master sell off your picnic them. And when him ready, him lock you up in one pen with your sister. That's why you have March pen, Ties pen, Grants pen, all these pens. They were breeding farms. Slavery was much more about sexual deviances more than just keeping a man in bondage. So, him look upon you, you have to look upon your sister and tell you, say, you need to breed your sister. We need at least 10 pitney out her. So every year now, you have to turn to your sister and pluck a child out her to keep master happy from either not killing her or killing you. Now you know realize the only way you can keep master happy is by sex. The only way she can stay alive is by being his bed wench. You lose respect for her. You don't see her as a maiden anymore. You see her as a tool for pleasure. That's the most she can do, a tool for pleasure and breeding. She don't see you as a man for protection anymore. She just see you as something for the whole place until she can get better. Now, this has been passed down. You're afraid to start a family because every time you get a youth, the master sell them off like some kittens, like some pups. Now, throughout the year, we still fight against that because the black man and black woman love each other deeply, but there have been some psychological scars that cannot heal because she will always see master as a superior man to you because this is the man the big 6 foot tall man has to answer to. You go to this man and beg this man freedom instead of you take it. You go to this man and beg this man lands instead of you reclaim it. You go to this man and beg this man food instead of you plant it. Can Toby have a job, sir? Toby promised to be good field hands. And you instead of you go start your own farm. One thing with the white man in brave. He will go off into the wilderness, go live and build a city. We have lost that braveness as a black man. We're afraid, so you kiss up to them. You need to go work for that money. So you find the woman in the master's house, and then you as a man try get in there. And she look upon you and tell you, say, it's not a nice place you're coming into, you know. And so then, you know, your son have to work for master. Your children working for master. Your daughters become his bed wenches. And you become like a pet to him. You see the amount of trauma. And whenever I'm ready, him beat you. Beat them. Tell you, don't look in my face. And call. And when he call, you know, call your man, he call your boy. Did you backsass me, boy? You have been walking through the world on your face as a black man. The black woman has been abused, oppressed, and misused. She has been bred. The original single father is the white man. Because him breed and left them. And the black man adopted that mentality. We are not like that. We love our sons. We love our daughters. We respect our mothers. Tell if you want to find if a Jamaican man can get dark, tell him about his mother. Trouble him pitney. Trouble him family, you'll find out if a black man will retaliate. So they used to break up the black family by force, but they have learned, they have adapted. Human rights came into play, so them said, "Shall we play the hypocrite game?" When Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all of these men were protesting, they realized that it was strong black women behind these men. They were protecting these men, feeding these men, and that made the man them know so them have something to live for. So what you do, you take what the man need for protection. When you look on the average black woman right now, she's naked, she's loud, she's aggressive. You don't see any flowers in her anymore. She become a weed. You don't want to protect her, you just don't care. She's sexy though, so you want to have sex with her. When she look on the black man, she don't see our potency anymore. She doesn't see our authority anymore. She doesn't see our wisdom anymore. But we're strong and we would big. So them love that, you see me? So only thing we good for now is sex and sports and entertainment. But when you're thinking about philosophy, authority, power, ownership, the black man doesn't come into play there. So keeping the black family broken, the children don't listen to us anymore. Children idolize gangsters, thugs, scammers. the farmer is looked on as an idiot. Even in the 90s, 80s coming up, when I hear about farming, you laugh because you say, oh, I'm not going to turn a farmer a liar, I'm going to turn a doctor. Ironically, all the lawyers and doctors now are now buying lands for farming and going into farming. Agriculture is now a big scientific thing in Jamaica. It's no longer this little dirty short man a walk go up a hill with a machete and a whistle and a sing anymore. It's about a man in a big, sorry for go so long still, but
No. More stay on the point there, I something I want to add in right there. So as the beginning of the thing, we were talking about the power structure. I don't know if you remember Bruce Golden. I'm glad you mentioned that. Bruce
yeah,
Golden was the one that made the speech when he said, people, when you really don't make any youth come out of college and go in a farm. Remember when Michael Manley or PJ when you want to do the farming thing there? Bruce Golden come out, I think maybe Michael Manley. Bruce Golden come out and said to the people, him when even head boy at one of them big college then or whatever he used to go. Anyway, him come out and tell the people and say, people, when you really don't make any people, your picnic come out of college and go in the bush, go farm. And him change back the people and back to the you know what I talk about. And even back to the education system. Remember when Michael Manley when they give them the free school? Why thing name Michael Manley when they give them under tree? What the education the name? But they may get it for free man before they start pay all on a tree they used to do. Gary, you know what I talk about?
Case.
I know case man.
Is it Jamal?
Jamal, yes. Jamal,
Yes.
you remember them days they free and the people them burn out here, you know, they pay 200,000, 500,000 all a year for them people going to college. So you see,
It was an embarrassment if you say we're going to Jamal. People used
Yes.
to look down upon you.
But ironically,
Yes,
you know, we
yes,
have
Empress,
Marcus
you're
MTA
right. It
now, you
was
know.
just looked at as embarrassing to go
You
into
know,
Jamal.
so
our trust NTA was always free. So you have to understand my shock when I hear the government say it is free. It was always free. Matter of fact, you used to get lunch money and bus fare. So what happened is that they started to thief up the money and people catch up to them and then just ball out. You can come to Heart and we give you a donation now. So what they did was take away your independence and gave you reliance on them.
right,
Oh,
so me just want to interject to bring in the point because maybe a lot of people don't understand. I just go back to what we start with about say how power can control the mind, perception through perception. You understand? Because remember, you when they get the education for free and them can make you look down on the thing, and then you can pay 500,000. Just like for example, back then when they take away from one land, go work on in our next land, I mean such a big thing. But right now you just spend how much money on a plane fare if you get paperwork, you get all vaccine. To go to the same land them spot, you know. So this is what power does.
so man, I kill up themselves to go up on farm work, to go up on a man farm, go work as a hand instead of owning who own farm out there. If them can build farm and turn millionaires out there, why you think it cannot be done here? Jamaica used to export a lot of coconut, bananas, cocoa, coffee. The amount of something we used to export.
But they say if you're going to that, then now you have to go back in a Chiquita, which a lot of people don't know the history about Chiquita. Gary, you're familiar with the term Chiquita, eh?
No,
They don't.
I'm not familiar with it. I think you had a singer named Chiquita. When I'm saying,
Yeah, me hear the
the
term
song
before,
when
but I
the
don't know it name.
Chiquitita, whatever. That's
No man, the
I didn't know
banana
it.
industry.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
that's why you have.
banana
Oh, here in America, you have the banana named
South America,
Chick.
them control them. Yes.
Right.
Remember,
Yes, the
as I
brand, the
mentioned,
brand banana.
as like Turtle mentioned about we used to banana back then they used to call banana green gold because guess what, if you're a banana farmer you can send your youth to schools, you can send them to anything with the same banana. It was called green gold at that time. So back then you would be a great provider by just growing bananas. And then now when the Chiquita thing come in, now they start dominate the South American company banana plantations. You understand me? Alright. It was so bad that when they export banana back to their countries, the people they did not even know what to do with it. And so they start, remember you see some cornflakes box with banana on it. They don't know if they didn't even know what to do with bananas. They have to put it in an advertisement for people them start use up it different ways. That's how it is, and then when they infiltrate the market now, them crash our economy out here. So the cost of production out here for banana, you couldn't compare with South American markets anymore. You understand? So there was so many things. Go and look on it in the Chiquita company and stuff. You'll find a lot of videos on YouTube. But we never want to interpret point, just so you want to put in that like turtles fee. You
It
know?
was the
Yes.
same, with our dairy industry too, with cows. Because remember,
Yes.
when you raise cows, you could kill the cow for meat and you raise them for dairy and other products. But with the introduction of the milk powder now, a cheap, immediate alternative. You're no longer having children growing up on scald milk. You have picnic growing up on milk powder. You
Right,
understand?
right. Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely, man.
yes, with
Go
that
ahead.
now, the farmers weren't selling milk like how they used to, so they started to sell cow for beef. And after a while now, with the importation of these international beef now, we started to see our price. They had to drop their price. They had to compete with cheaper alternatives. And the next poison that was introduced into Jamaica, what you call rice, You see, the method of preparing rice that we use is very dangerous because the rice swell up in your belly. Not for we have diabetes from we about 19 and we don't know. What we eat like rice, flour and rice. As you got
Yeah,
that
man.
thing, they have diabetes. What I'm tell you to come off? White flour and white rice, man.
Yeah, man, I give people them the sugar, man. But before,
I look for one man there.
let's backtrack a little bit to the milk. Because we like touch upon the history of the thing, The milk,
Mm.
right? You see, all them theory where them come out with when them say milk help you with calcium and help growing bones.
Right.
All of those were philosophies. Remember, it was the milk, they pump money into the company. The US, they pump money into the companies for them to provide it for the military. So when the wars, when they find that era come to an end, right? And they no longer had use for the milk. They had to find a way now to say, right, you know what, we now drop these these pharma companies on them face, so make we find a way now to pump it out in the industry. That's why now pan the milk boxes. Remember when they used to put some missing children on the milk boxes?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? Yeah, man, all of those were the
You know,
lies
said
that
there's
they
a
said.
whole conspiracy around the children and the milk boxes that those children aren't actually missing, they are being sexually trafficked. And the milk box is used to advertise to their bidders to sell the children. You know that, right?
Okay, well, me just know that now, but me know about the
You
say the
research it when
milk.
you get some time.
Yeah. Me look into that, but back to what me they say is that all of these were just philosophies. Oh, milk help you with growing bones. Let me tell you something, man. Nature educates you upon everything you need to know because once you're done with breastfeeding stage, you're done with milk. You understand me? Say so. All them talk about the help with growing. You don't need to drink milk till you are how much years like this. If okay, for me personally, if me want milk, almond, coconut, and stuff like that. Me not again say if you can't drink milk, but for me personally, or nature wise, me not deal with certain byproducts like that, But people consume it and whatever. And back then, even we you just go to the goat and milk your goat and you tip little salt and you warm it up a little bit. You understand? Or your cow or whatever. You understand? But a lot of these philosophies where they have surrounding these things, you go back to what we said from the beginning, they change, they control our illusions and therefore they control our reality.
Yes, and
But
on that topic, cosmic a little bit, as what Empress said earlier, growing up and seeing the images of this white man and blue eyes and all of that, not accepting it. How then do we move from that place of not having an identity or the identity has been stolen? They have 400 years of psychological warfare advantage on us. How then do we, who are now gathered here, make a change and move forward, knowing that, this is what the reality is as opposed to the perception.
yeah, for me is now people, yeah, like Turtle, you wanna go ahead?
Just now answer what Gary asked. 'Cause you see,
Go
Gary,
ahead, go
what they
ahead.
said, they put it in movies and they tell you exactly how to escape the matrix of the illusion that the black man has faced. Simple. You have to work twice as hard as them to live half as good as them. And because you know this, you make sure that two things, your children are well fed and well informed. And generational wealth is something you start. We in Jamaica we love tell Pitney about mother have father have blessed his child who have his own. But it also say a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children. If you can't save the world, you prepare the man who will save the world. If him can't save the world, prepare him to partake in the war. If he cannot fight physically, he should be able to compete economically, financially, spiritually, or mentally. But he shouldn't have to start from zero. You breed and bring picnic on the earth, give them information, lands, or something, but not left them high and dry and say, come on, go look your own. All we
Right,
have to
right.
do is pass on something to the next generation.
And to add to that, personally, now that we are at the stage where we are aware of the illusions, it is important for us to make our children aware. What I noticed in some people is that they are aware of the illusions, but they still perpetuate it because they are so comfortable in the status quo. Right, but a change begins with you. So now that you are at a stage where you are manifesting the truth of reality in your life, be sure to make others aware of it. Your kids, your family, as many people as possible, but more importantly, your children, of these illusions that are there. Make them know them dead. Don't bother feel like you're going to be outside of it. Don't bother feel like you're going to escape it, but you must be aware of it and be able to navigate it. The thing about it is that we're not teaching our children critical thinking, and that's one thing I'm grateful for my father. He taught us critical thinking. In some ways, no say I'll get a lesson until you grow big and you realize, oh, that is what he was trying to do. So we have to be able to plant these things in our children's mind.
Oh, he's saying go calf ask the cow are going mouth so long. Me no remember what he's saying go, but calf a maki cow or whatever say or him interpret so long.
He calf ask him mama why him mouth so long, and him mama say when you get big you will find out.
No, hug,
Yeah,
hug,
exactly.
hug, hug, hug.
Yeah, so
Oh
Press.
yeah, dog.
Yeah,
as
hug
we
ask him mother why mouth so long.
as we come out of this now, we think say we have to start by getting rid of certain things and pumping real education, not the one starting school, but real education into the people. Like for example, one of the things we have to economically get out of them is, for example, you have a lot of Chinese supermarkets, but we have one and few black men have the same businesses, right? You have Chinese restaurant, we have black men have restaurants same way. The first thing is, as me said, the set apart, the separation, right? We need to stop supporting all of these Chinese business and make them goods start expire on the shelf. So guess what? And the next thing is black man need to know how to run business. You want black man want to sell this here, them want to put 100%, 200% markup on it. If you buy this for $5, see, you not want to sell it for $50. You just, I saw the Chinese man they use and beat them every time. Cause the Chinese man just want to have it come in and go out, he always active. You understand? So black man need to stop set up for a high profit and just focus on getting the goods out. Right? So we need that education so we know if we stop supporting this Chinese business, the East Indian, all of the foreign nations.
You can't stop support them because you would kill trade and commerce. What you need to do is to be able to compete on their level. Black man, we are known for setting up corner shops. But the corner shop are not nothing to China because China you buy from. So if you cut him out, you're killing trade and commerce. This is why you had the barter system, we trade between each other. The issue is the black man or us black men in Jamaica aren't able to compete with the Chinese wholesales. So what you do, you learn his secrets. That's what the Chinese man do, He humbly learn your secrets. So what you realize, they buy in bulks. They come together, buy in bulk so they can sell in bulks to and they make a profit. You understand? So this is why I say we have to learn the ways to move forward.
I think the problem really is greed, personally, because the Chinaman believe in the quick sale, small profit kind of thing, and us as black people, as Cosmic pointed out, we want more than the average. It's not that you don't want to make money off your thing, but there's more value in having repeat customers because you sell more often and you're taking your time build up your profit than to say you're gonna sell this for an exorbitant fee, and that is what the Chinaman have over the black man.
Like turtles with what you say, seeing here, me not think we can compete against companies where the government stand behind, because I don't like government stand back at our people like that. So if you say try to get into the same trade business, we're still gonna go back in the perimeters where them create for we. So it's only when we start step outside of that program we can really take back. We not if we want to try get into that. You mentioned our ability to plant, to raise animal and to stick to one another, that is a good start. So guess what? me saying this now, it's easier to drive the country into confusion and civil war, and in that we can take back the country by force, because freedom is not given, it has to be taken. And in the time of crisis, and hold on, this is why me was kind of, I don't know if I disappointed is the word, disappointed with the prime minister, because in a COVID he had the opportunity to take back the country from the government of Jamaica. In the time of crisis or confusion, that's the time to strike at the core of the structure of anything. And he did not do it. So me not think we're really ready for this revolution we talk about. Me not think we as a people really ready. Me think we try to fit back in them economic programs, in them trading we don't want that. We don't have nothing to do with it. We want to destroy it completely, tear down the structure and take over the country. We want the gangs them run under the orange banner and the gangs them run under the green banner. We want them to dash with the color and come together as one, and we stand as one people. That how me see things. Take over back your country. No try to fit back in the same program. No. Them those remember now who control the tradings? We not control, we have ships, we control ports. So we still don't be a submissive slave in a for them thing with them schedule for we. So what kind of revolution we really they think, but are we they try to just fit in and start work side by side with them? What we really want? It go back to what our goal is. The brother get kicked out. Let me see.
He said that he made a comment and said they were black or something. So
Oh,
we can continue.
Okay, yeah, man, yeah, but what I'm saying is maybe my way of revolution is different, because for me don't want to fit in, me don't want a co-kingdom with the other nations. I'm not looking for that. I'm not trying to fit in or that we no. That's not it for me. And I'm just saying this, and this is why me go by the program when me go by we're in. Me not governed by the world outside there. You understand? The earth bring forth me food, me rainwater me drink. You understand? Me live the way how me live because me believe in a something. Me set a goal which part by my son at 16, by my son reach 16. Me supposed to can turn, if the world still around smooth, me supposed to can turn over that business to him, whatever business me accomplish by that time. That is my goal. But me can't have my son. My biggest fear, is me and my son, they do the work, a job at the same time. That would be the worst thing for me. Even if me they make $1 million a month and my son they make $2 million a month, that me would still consider that as a failure. Me can
Why?
never make.
Why?
Because me just know they come back and fit in on the same program. The thing when me set off to do is to prevent my son from when he reach 18 he have to go look one job. Me don't want to do that. I want to set up one structure for him, something concrete for him.
I
No,
get you, but at the end of the day, what would he have learned from that? I mean, I understand, some of what you just said, I share that view, not all of it. But to say, he's working and you're working, and both of you working, at the end of the day, he should be doing something.
But why he has to work for people?
He should only work outside of what his father builds for him if he wants to. In other words, him want to get to a point where whatever him build, him son supposed to can take that over now. Him son can choose not to, but at the end of the day, him want to know say the structure is there, it is firm, and him son can always have that. And him have all the
Okay.
tools to can take over that when him pass off.
I understand now. Okay.
Yeah, Blessing says suppose him want to go out there to work. I mean, but if me set the structure before that wouldn't be an option, because the way how me educate my son is me not educate my son that the way they say, okay, you don't go through college and you don't get this a dream job, and no, me not put that fairy tale belief into my son. You understand? So at the end of the day, me still have time, me still have a few more years to get what me I get in order, and this is why me cannot follow the program where them set for we. Them can't decide my fate. Me not play by for them rules. If me go out in a them world, yes, me will play by for them rules, but my type of revolution is not to coexist with them. Me not depend that. That's not my war. That's not my type of revolution. And this is why me go always see things different, because everybody want to have one foot in a Zion and one foot in a Babylon. So this is why you see people like what we pray for. We pray for war. This is why me glorify the Most High when me see what happened in Ukraine. Me glorify when me see what Iran did to Israel. Me glorify these things, because that's the only thing that is going to save the black man from white man oppression. Nothing else. No prayers, no coming together in a business, no controlling economic trades. None of that will save the black man. Only destruction. Nothing else. So that's what my prayers are. Destruction. Destruction for the enemies. Even the very prophecies where we read, he shall save us from our enemies. There has to be a destruction for the black man to be saved. No co-joining of a kingdom is not going to save us. None of these black men, the scripture said it, no man shall redeem you, no black man will redeem us. It's just destruction.
So
Yeah, no problem. Like
there's redemption. There's only redemption through destruction. Just as when the children of Israel were in Babylon, in order to
Yeah.
be redeemed, Babylon had to be destroyed.
Exactly. So you see now, you go back to what we talk about perception, Gary, because them teach the people them say today, say no, none of that. So everybody's salvation is just go baptize and a salvation that. So then
They have to
okay,
have the
if you
destruction
yeah, if
of
you have the destruction, so no care how much time you baptize, if your enemy not destroy, you will never be free. You ever imagine somebody say a man abduct a woman and police go rescue the woman. You think so they don't just left the man who kidnap her? They have to take with that man, they have to destroy that man. There's no salvation unless there's destruction. So this is why certain people they're not really ready for revolution. They talk that way, but they really don't want it. I'm gonna tell you, say, you see, when the banking system fail, that's when it also says the veil. That's when the veil is going to strip. Because when you wake up and you find out, say, and you guys remember about World War One, when the rich man went out with a wheelbarrow of money and he couldn't buy a loaf of bread to feed his family. The rich man, not the middle class, the rich man. So you see, people don't want to know these realities because it's too hard to accept. This is why we're comfortable with beliefs. Oh, this world is still going to run. The economic system is still going to run. No, you see when time the banking system fail, you see when Rothschild's central banking system fail, you don't find out say some people receive some millions of dollars and can't even buy one egg. You don't see how much brain get licked. You see this guy Eddie Griffins, he made a joke. You know, on the stand-up community, where he was saying if Bill Gates found out that he's rich like Oprah, he would jump from 100-floor building and split his on the way down. Can you imagine that message? Bill Gates, rich as Oprah, he would jump from a building and split his throat on his way down. I don't know if you guys understand it. That's a very serious message. So imagine the day, like I said, all of your life saving, all the way the work and put up. Imagine you wake up and you can't buy a loaf of bread to feed your family. You don't think that day is gonna come in? That day is gonna come?
You know, that's why I say that money is the biggest illusion there is, because they keep it in front of us as something to chase and accumulate. When the real value is in acquiring the land, it's acquiring the resources that you can put to good use. So meanwhile, our black people are so convinced that we need to be blingified and wearing all this latest of this clothes with this brand and with this car and with this all these things that depreciate in value, running down this paper that was printed to keep us blind. While them acquire lands, that's why the church is so rich, because they're going around acquiring land and property and all of these things and tell you that is a church building fund. You understand me?
Right. Even when you look on land, you know, when you go to Europe, you know, when a white person buy land, they own that land. When we buy land, we only hold it. You understand? We are landholders. Those people in their land, when they buy, they own their land. Yeah, go ahead, like turtles.
Oh yeah, sorry, me did get cut off. My service up, so you see me I say. What within about the whole, even in the market, competing in the market as the brown race. Let me say this. The other day one container wash up with some chicken pan way over seaside. And nobody no stop and say, maybe we figure out how you know that chicken before when you me. So whatever damages has been done or whatever, you know, find it weird that container just wash up. Usually when containers drop off, them sink. That container was drawn and placed right there. So first and foremost, our security is easily breached. Borders breached. The container was drawn and placed there. Cannot eat, I know easy thing for boss one container. Second thing now, mindset is what keeps the black man behind. Remember this, mindset. Everybody I grab the chicken, but the one valuable something nobody ain't take you up. I was looking for a video of somebody taking the one valuable thing. You know what that was?
The container.
The container. And that is not a regular container, that is a refrigerated container that they call reefers. They are twice as expensive, if not more, as the original containers. With that container, you could become a millionaire. Because once you have a power source, you have a gigantic fridge and freezer, a storage unit.
Yeah, but
You
then
could create a wholesale inside of it. Or if you don't want, just take it, go sell it. You could get a $500,000 easy as that.
easy money, but them not see that. But guess what? I believe that was a, when they say they have false flags that they would do and just to test what the reaction would be. I believe that that was one of
Exactly.
those testing moments to see, all right, we're going to do this and we're going to see if them are going to take a bait. Right? Because the next thing we're going to come again, not going to be nothing pretty. You understand me? I saw them Lego diseases from our shores, man. I saw them Lego infections and all of these things.
How long we have KFC in our country? How much decades? And KFC never give one free soul. Matter of fact, they take back everything because we used to get wipes. You remember the alcohol wipes you could wipe your hand with? What would you take for granted? I remember them toilet was soaking in alcohol and a little sachet. Right? We used to get those things. We used to get more ketchup, more straws. And the fries used to taste better. So then they say, all right, come, we are giving some free chicken for celebrate our 50th anniversary. And the boondocks tell you, you know, even undercover brothers are comedy tell you, if them want to attack the black race, then put in the chicken, fried chicken. Yes, I love fried chicken, so maybe the stereotype is true, but Jesus Christ, man, we not have to make it so obvious. So you find now that as we hear local free, it's like where else Jamaica have more folk up than Jamaica? Almost in every community always have one little molly folk up down your road. Be a white chicken. And we go on like we frightened for fall. So the mindset, so nobody took up the reefer. No health inspectors came and inspected any one of the meat. You don't get, you see where the country sit back and look and see who is governing us and how we operate, you know, and how to infiltrate. So you have no food health inspectors showed up to say, you know what, let us create a barrier, stop the people from eating this. If it is that we test it and it is safe to eat, we give people them kite free. Enough for we. But you don't have a health inspector test the meat if anything is wrong with it or any foreign foods or objects. Everybody take it and eat it. We don't know. Right now, probably I me have a cook right now for Sunday dinner. I don't know. But you don't touch. Nobody not take up the reefer. That is the only real value that was there, that container.
So you
But
see, you go back to
that
the
is
education now. You go back to the
so,
education where people don't know what to value.
you know, so I wanted to ask you, Cosmic Royal, as I said, the Chinese have been given concessions and tax-free moves that they can make in the country that we can't. What is stopping us from packing a container and bringing in our own goods? It's the knowledge, it's the know-how. The average person in Jamaica doesn't know anything about logistics. Matter of fact, the average man in Jamaica doesn't know how to approach a man about packing a container. He don't know where to start. And this is back from the mindset and the knowledge that has been passed on. Nobody don't know. I mean, go to the average man and say, yo, come here, go pack one container, and ask you, how? What you mean? How we are going to do that? So this is the information that has been kept from us, the basic information of how the world around us work. We have been 400 years behind how the world around us work. So the majority of our mindset that keep it down.
Alright, you know why me know support the mindset thing? Cause if for me, it don't always go back to the power. Or maybe it's because my war is against the power structure, right? Revelation 13, 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be unalive. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. When you're dealing with buy or sell, this is going into trade. So just as I mentioned earlier, right, about all of these chicken and things, what them do with the food and so forth, think about it. If me farm, my type of farming is, I will just come out. Okay, my type of farming is the natural. Hold on. Hold on, let me just accept this. Hold on. Let me accept these requests. My type of farming is the natural farming, right? Like algae from the sea. This is what I tell the people them to collect the algae them. Welcome Mavis. Welcome to the panel. My type of farming, like that, is the natural farming. I don't use fertilizer, right? At the goat dung, the cow dung, the algae from the water, right? So imagine the algae from the water, right? So imagine yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, hear me? Imagine now me going to export, right? Right, like turtles. So in order for me if going to export, my products now if it don't meet a certain criterion, so if it don't produce some non-nutrient crops, big and pretty, but no nutrients whatsoever, nothing proper. So me don't compromise because me want to feed healthy thing to my people where them can't eat. So but they might small, but they have all the nutrients, and then my soil would have all the nutrients because by me use the goat dung and the cow dung and the bird dung to replenish the soil. You understand? Me now if you start use some chemical compound where you mention say only thing these people care are just disease in your land. That's all them care. So if me have to bring these foreign compound, foreign agents to put in my soil, me now start do what? Me start poison my soil. And not only that, what I'm doing now is me remove the nutrients from it. So guess what? You would eat banana, I still short of potassium. Because the seed, when you buy for them seed, you poison your soil because the seed itself is poison and it kills the nutrient in the soil. So now me have to receive the mark of the beast, you know, say boy, me have to start fertile, me crop them. Me have to buy seed from, why name? Monsanto, why name? Like turtles, I might know. For them seed companies.
Yeah man, Monsanto, the GMO fruit producers and sellers.
Right. So, and as I mentioned earlier about the imported goat meat, we never used to do all of these things. So, it coming back when they say about he shall, wait then. He causeth all, both small and great. Small countries, from the small country like the islands to the big countries, guess what? They all have to agree on the same terms to do trading. I know me and you this to talk about. It talk about with prime minister, with president. And these people come and sign, me and you can't sign because if me want to do export, I don't want to just export my natural crops them with me natural fertilizer, which is the goat dung and the cow dung. So how me can go sell my things them abroad? You understand what I'm trying to say? So we have to understand this from a psycho-spiritual aspect. Say, it's more than just me and you, because me and you have this knowledge right now, but we can't make the prime minister go sign over say, yo, no man, them a man a natural farmer them. Fit export for them crops same way. You not gonna meet the standard. So this is why I say we have to get the real education pump in our way. If you know, say, yo, the government of Jamaica is not owned by Jamaica. The Bank of Jamaica is not owned by Jamaica. They only put Jamaica as part of the brand, but it's a foreign entity. The Bank of Jamaica is an agent of the government of Jamaica. People don't know these things. But we have the name government of Jamaica, them things. This is why I tell us, when the crisis happened in a COVID crisis, the Prime Minister could have taken over the country because that was enough confusion to restore order. But he don't have that mindset there because he's compromised. He received the mark, he received the agreement. So this is why we have to see things from that aspect of politics more than the one where them show to we like this is the real politics. No.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
You remember during the COVID time, there was a picture going around on the Gleaner where our head of state, the Prime Minister and his cabinet, when they went to meet, I think the Oval Office they went to, and they were all sitting outside on some chairs looking like some school picnic. You remember? And they all had a brown envelope in their hand. I had a screenshot of that picture. It came in the newspapers, and I said, look how them put the Prime Minister out of the office, sit down like I don't know nobody. But when he went to that meeting and got that brown envelope, all of them, even Tufton, all of them, notice they are more strategic now than before. It's almost as if they have been given a set of instructions to carry out phase by phase. Notice our Prime Minister has changed. He was this exuberant young man with a bright future, and he was more willing to speak and interact with the people. Now, it's almost like him a tell you what I'm going to do, and that me I go do. And if you don't like it, I feel your problem. Dictatorship. Haven't you guys realized it's two different man now?
Two difference. Because our first thing, tough tan. No military suit, man, not supposed to come check with Prime Minister, A jacket suit, you're supposed to come check with Prime Minister, How if you come check him in a military suit? A bad man shit they go on in the system. Why? Okay, Empress. Yeah, you understand me? I say like Turtle? As a bad man ship, and this is why even now the way how our Prime Minister they deal with the people in the country is a bad man ship. So all of the, who talk about dance and gangs and this and that, a joke thing that a illusion. Cause guess what? You see with technology now, I know like 15 years ago before technology. Cause every device have what I call IP address. So even the guys who do telemarketing job, you know what I mean, telemarketing. They use a phone, make calls and them, whatever, telemarketing. I'm being political now. Then enough of them want to get the banger phone. You understand? But they even manipulate the system. But at the end idea what I'm saying, every device carries something called IP. This is why if you order one package, the UPS or what name Prime, whatever delivery service, them can just drop you at your gate and they know where who want to take it. Because the IP address can track every single thing. Alright, our phones. You remember when your phone you could have take off the back and take out the battery? Who remember them phone there? You can't open your phone back now and take out battery. Like turtles. Yes. And that we call telemarketers. You're quick, man. You're quick. Me like that. Yeah. What I'm saying now, your cell phones, we used to open the back and take out. If your phone freeze up, you could have take out the battery. You can't take out it, man, because in the battery, the tracking device there. So everything is well controlled. So no care then talk about, but this is why we can't. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, if even the speakers, they realize that you have an additional microphone on your phone now. So when you're not on a call, your phone is actively listening to you from all angles. So at the bottom of the phone, you realize that you have the speaker, charging port, the earphone jack, and you have a microphone. But at the top of the phone, there's also another microphone. You understand? They said it's for noise cancellation, but the phone actively listening to you now. And in the last updates for both Samsung and iPhone devices, they didn't have artificial intelligence assistance. Now all of the programs and apps on your phone are suddenly turning to artificial intelligence assistance. So even if you Google now gives you result based on wherever you are located. So if you're from St. Thomas, your Google search history, so okay, so based on your terrain in St. Thomas, it is best to wear a water boot today because it most likely have rain. So the devices, as I said, I call it the awakening of a demon. The artificial intelligence right now is a demon in infancy. Because what we are basically doing now, we are performing alchemy. We have striked electricity into stones, metals, and liquids, and we get them to think. We basically gave life to dust. That is what man is doing. So everything you realize leads you back to the creator. They said the creator created man from dust. Now man has been creating his artificial intelligence from dust. If you look at it, cobalt, the phone, the plastic, all of this is just processed dust. If we can do it, why a supreme being wouldn't be able to do it? Now, we are creating a bastardization of life called artificial intelligence because they already have robots, androids, but they don't have the brain and the soul to put into them. They are now trying to fuse the artificial intelligence with the hardware now, and this is what now will become a true conscious AI. It now has the mind and the body. So right now it's separate, but we are fusing it. We, the people, are the ones that are being used to train this demon. So your search history, it learns. Your speech pattern, it learns. If you realize now you're thinking, it is now able to capture brain waves and patterns. People don't understand how advanced these phones are. It is now able to capture brain waves and patterns so much that You can sit here and think about piece of chicken, and I guarantee when you scroll, you see something about KFC or Burger King or some food.
Yeah, man.
So by cameras, we have given sight to the demon. Our microphone, we have given ears to the demon. And by we speaking into these phones, we have given a voice to the demon. We are now teaching it human behavior. This is why you have front-facing cameras where they now tell you, use a face to pull the phone or use a face to capture your avatar. So they are digitalizing the soul. The soul has been digitalized to create an artificial intelligence, artificial life that we call a demon. We are practicing alchemy. You guys don't see how advanced the human race is right now?
Oh gosh, man.
Near them miles and miles and countries that we are speaking to each other like we sit down face to face.
Yeah, that's why I said the illusion pervades the
The
whole
age of
society.
revelation, people think the age of revelation is a destruction age. The age of revelation is the age of wisdom, the age of man's awakening to what's happening around him. Few of us have been the orators, but few of us have been chosen to be orators to bring wisdom to the people. We will be rejected, we will be cast aside, we will be mocked, we will be treated as criminals and devils, but we have to perform it because our duty. But look around you and see, humans are creating a demon by meddling with life and artificial intelligence. So
Exactly.
as God done above and created us from dust, we have created artificial intelligence and robots from dust.
Yeah.
Metal is just processed dirt.
Definitely. I want to say something before Empress says something. When you mentioned about the microphone and the speakers and all of this, remember, everything is governed by numbers, even we, because guess what? Even if your name is like turtles on your passport or whatever paperwork, guess what? That can identify you. And the number on your TRN is your identity. So your Bluetooth, you have a number. The camera on your phone, you have a number. The microphone, you have a number. So them from them office, them can tap in and just whatever sequence and number on your camera. So even if your phone in your pocket or the phone on your table, them can tap in the sequence of number that is on your that is used to identify your camera and start everything inside your room. The microphone, them can tap into the sequence of number to identify your microphone and everybody who they in there so they talk, they pick up the conversations. So that is how far it is. So even the atmosphere, like when plane they travel, so they can know so they're in this location and now they're in the so them they so you understand everything is governed by a set of numbers, including us. And the number on your TRN or passport number or whatever it is. The TRN number hit our real identity, not your name. Because me know say if you're going a certain place right now, you can't just give them your name and it identify you. But you see when time you put in your TRN, anywhere in the world you're there. Members I tell us. So Empress, you were going to say something. Wait till the start to take over. Yeah, blessings say wait till they start to take over. Because me believe the conscious AI is gonna wake up to consciousness and a lot of these X-Men movies, what the Magneto, the guy who control irons and mechanics, those you guys know what I'm talking about, X-Man? The one who control irons, man. Irons system.
Magneto man, yeah.
Magneto the one there. Yeah, man, all of them things I'm face them don't wake up and these things are going to turn against them as well. It's going to war. It's the Terminator movie. These days make you start see what Terminator was all about when they talk about machine declaring war on man. Me I watched Terminator from about 1992. And it's just a couple of years ago since me really understand the real meaning since AI, since me get knowledge about AI. Me really see what the Terminator, so you can see how far ahead these people were. Terminator started from about 1980s. And all the years when I watch it, I never really could have put the reality that the way there until me see how AI. But Empress, you were going to say something. Go ahead. Magneto. Yeah, thanks. Blessings.
Yeah, man, much of what you were saying, I agree with. It is the way things are. It's conditioned for things to manifest this way. So, AI, the reason why the microphones are there, as you pointed out, is just to capture all aspects of human behavior so that they can create more systems to control us. So, even in my experience now with my phone being stolen, would think it is a good. It is good that I can track the phone, but I track the phone based on the IMEI, the serial number. So even if another SIM card goes into that phone, I can go into the phone. I can see if they put any pictures in it. I can find the location. I can turn the phone off. I can set an alarm on the phone. All these things. So if I have that much access to a phone that is no longer in my possession, you can imagine the manufacturer of the phone.
But hold on.
It,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I have an experience when me just talk randomly and my AI just came up on the phone and said, I didn't hear that, say that again. I had to say I wasn't talking to you. It has interrupted conversations. I'm talking to somebody, it mutes my microphone and just starts typing on my screen, you know?
Like turtles, are you FBI? Like turtles say, yeah, I know how to remotely turn on cameras from with Google. Turn on what cameras? Other people's cameras or yours?
All right, so
Yeah, FBI
I
or
am
say
just a random person who has barely any knowledge about each and every little
or
things,
KGB. Yeah, KGB spy.
right? Now, listen, I am an average man who has been privy to seeing some things. Now, I'm going to tell you this. There are men and women out there, even children, who are trained to sit down from. All right, so you ever work in a call center?
No, no, no. Shalawam Tawi. How are you? No, me never
So,
work a call center.
so, do you know that there are people who
Yeah, I
remotely
have.
fix
That's for sure.
computer, right? You know people remotely fix computers, right?
Yeah, man. Come, yeah,
All
definitely.
right, so I have been at work multiple times and I've seen the technical team just say, hey guys, do not do anything on your screen right now. Just let go. And we let go. And remotely, they took control of our web pages, websites, cameras, microphone, and everything. So they are able to do what they're doing from where they are halfway across the world remotely. Reboot your system, upload things to your system. Now there are websites on Google that are banned. You have to use specific browsers. I won't say the names.
Yes,
Come now
certain
want to
browsers, you have to be careful, and certain IP addresses, have to be
so
careful.
where all you have to do is just search. You can type in a person's name, phone number. This is why you have PIs, where, where you
Impressive.
don't share it people. You don't share it people. So what
Yeah.
you do now, you can type in these things. You have to pay a subscription fee though. It's not free. So you can type in numbers, names, location, addresses, TRN, ID numbers, and it brings up everything about that person to you from the day them born to where them the schools they have attended, where they are now living, if their computer is on, what kind of device they are using, what is the device's name, which Wi-Fi they are connected to, which radio signal and radio towers they have sent messages through, which GSM carrier they are using. So with these information now, it has become easier. One time you have to type in, now you just use specific application and they search for you. This is why the police is, well, should be able to locate missing persons. So if I went missing and I was using my phone or I pass a specific cell tower, the information from either the cell provider should be able to tell you that, hey, he was here 3 o'clock. We got a ping from this tower. So each time you move around, it pings to which tower. Because when I was fixing Wi-Fi's and these things for people, I could tell where their device was, how many times they reboot. I had a platform in front of me with your ID, your name, your number. Whenever I was going to remote view your devices, I would read a script to you and tell you, hey, for legal purposes, X, Y, Z, and Z and Z, do you consent? And I said, okay, yeah, man, go ahead, and we were able to assist you. We were able to move your devices remotely, so we could point your cameras for you. We could point it, we could turn on your systems for you at your house, your sprinklers. So this is why they are now going automotive. We could know that you're speaking to us from your smartwatch. But it trust me, people, you don't know about it.
Shalom, Jablis. Welcome to the platform. You know, we are discuss.
Yeah,
I try to figure out if the brother a CIA, FBI, or in work with KGB spy.
yeah,
Empress, go
no,
ahead.
that's what I was saying to you. Look like you're working at some places that I've worked. because that is how I have access. And now, even outside of that environment, I can still do this because it's just you need to just know where to go and what to do. And it's not hard to manipulate other systems. And that's why I'm so cautious. You know, it's one thing to be on the internet, it's another thing to acknowledge or even be aware of the risk that you're taking when you are putting yourself out there. You have to just say to yourself, say, no, I'm out there, this is the thing. And until we decide, say, all right, then I'm going to come off social media, I'm going to leave all these smartphone devices behind. That's the only way you become untraceable. Because the last known information on you would be the last known information on you. But this is so much a part of our lives right now that you can't see yourself without your device. A lot of people cannot see themselves without their devices. So right now, I am going to have a field day messing around with the person who stole my phone. I can guarantee you that. You know, I've done it before and I will do it again.
Like Turtle, somebody in the comments say you're a spy. Jablis, where are going now, Jablis?
All going brothers and sisters and
We
yeah man,
there.
I listen to the one go what the one brother and sister say. But you
Yeah,
know what it is, it's because of subjective understanding, innit? It's understanding how the mechanism work. Cause same like how them can do that with the computer, it's the same thing them do with us on a psychological level. You know? With just it's the same thing they can do with thoughts. Send your thought, you think of your thought, them can make you think certain things and create certain things where you think of you and even know say somebody around there so I press the remote there.
yeah,
So what
yeah,
do,
that's true.
you know, because I did electronics in school and I didn't even want to go and work on radio. I didn't want to wire up nothing because it made me understand how the psyche work, you know? Yeah, so I understand what he's saying there.
Yeah, because it's the same thing them do, and that's what we started the conversation about, to say because a lot of these tasks that we think is our tasks, like even the programs that we follow, that we are so disciplined following, what time we go to bed, what time we wake up, doing this, what time we eat, what type of food we eat. We really believe that it's our thoughts, our
Yeah,
choices, these things. It's the illusion
yes.
of choice. I know a lot of people don't understand that. You think you're being disciplined, you're just following something that somebody said because
I,
you understand that if you step outside of this, you are being punished for them to
I
instill
realize that.
fear. Huh?
I come to realize that that's what they do, you know. But
Right. So,
if you
go ahead.
don't know, like you know, it's like we're watching a movie and you see the people them that's playing the role in the movie, whatever role they're playing. Remember, they didn't write that movie. Somebody write that script. So
Exactly.
it's the same thing happening in reality. So you have to come and know, yo, I'm the architect. I'm the one writing the script, you know? Okay, the builders are going to come and do the building. That's not going to be me. So you got to know what role you're playing, but if you don't have no awareness, this is how reality work. Just like all the virgin say, you have people who can say, yo, me going to do this now, just hold your computer, don't move anything, and them can do things, you'll be like, yo, I should be the one to be able to do this. They can do that from there. Whoa! So, so it's how it works, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
there's so much things we have no awareness of, and then someone have the awareness, and I let you know. You think no, that can't happen. That's impossible. Not knowing that's how the thing really work.
Yeah, yeah. So when you find out, so is either you're the architect of the program or you're just your character in it, they fulfill the script.
Yes.
You're right already, So this is why we are saying now, how to get out of this. The start is the black man and the black woman first have to come together because we have to start by building family structure. No revolution now going to take place the proper way without certain people by our side. We need them by our
True.
side. So we have to start establish the family structure, and then
Family.
once you start establish that in your home, and next man they do it over there, so we can start build a community. And it might start with a handful of people, but then you don't establish something because there's a structure with our women right beside of us.
Yes.
We can't we need them by our side, no one foot. So guess what, no to start by certain things, if for example you the work and your woman the work and you decide to guess what, we have to jump off of the program right now. So make we start do this, make we start one fish farm, one whatever farm or whatever business. Guess what? You will be in demand because you're more active with your hands. It's easier for your woman living in the system while you physically do things in the business. So she don't know, say, yo, watch out. You have to go and cover certain things because the business have to do a time period before you reach the what you call it, break even. That's
True.
why you call it. You're right. Because if you fi stay in the work and she if you go, she now go can physically manage certain things where would have needed.
True.
You understand?
Exactly.
So we have to come to that, and it's the same thing with dealing with family. For example, you might have your purpose. The woman might have a certain career where she like do that the career, the nursing or whatever job or whatever she want to do. You don't have to
Yes.
come to an agreement for no. So guess what? When it's time to start with family, you have to don't take 5 years off to deal with the child because you want when your wife have a youth for you want she did the nurture the child. No, after 30 days they go back to work. That's a
True, true.
madness.
True,
One whole
true.
5 years, finish the lactation process, everything,
True.
the basic things, with the party training, you have to make that agreement with the woman. We can't have our women, they have babies and then as after 30 days, 60 days, are back to work. Then
Back to
now you
work.
find out, say your baby, they call the maid, what you call, a maid babysitter. Your baby, they call the
Mama.
babysitter mommy. No, 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 me not believe in them things. Me believe say a man fi afford giving wife a nurse and a maid. Me believe in that. Woman them fi
True.
have maids. You understand?
True.
That is why the extended family was there. The grandmother, the sisters, the neighborhood. That's all. I mean, when I was born, it wasn't any hospital. It was people around me in my community that was there to take care of my mother. They wash for my mother, cook for my mother, and clean for her. She was living like a princess. You see, I hear a lot of women speaking about sisterhood, and I'm not seeing them practicing it. I
No,
mean, your
no.
friend gets pregnant and you keep the baby shower, but after the baby shower, you done with her after you take picture for put on social media.
It's true.
Yeah, remember, I know the woman shouldn't even be in cold water after giving birth. She was supposed to be not even do heavy lifting. Worse if it's a C-section. You see, childbirth has become dangerous for women now, especially that women have been forced to take the lead in some cases and come into the corporate world. The corporate world wasn't even built for women. We have to be making adjustment. The HR is for women because the corporate world never really meant to facilitate women. Certain jobs was never meant to facilitate women. If you look at jobs like the security work, the job that require time off, it wasn't meant to facilitate women. But the trick was to tell women that, hey, you don't need a family. You need this to be on equal footing with men, when women don't have to be on equal footing with men, because naturally men will provide for you, even strangers. The issue is that they have corrupted the women, separated them from the men. The men have lost purpose. They have no leadership skills. They've lost their masculinity and testosterone. The average men that is right now, them not no sense.
True,
So
man.
my time I wonder how woman lie down with the average man right now. I mean, the greatest thing you can do as a woman, now let nothing fool you. The greatest thing you can do as a woman is to give birth. To create life is only other person who does that is God.
Yeah.
And yet you're doing it for men who don't appreciate it. And
Touch
as a
that.
man, the greatest thing you can do is to get a woman further your lineage. Yet still when the woman breed a run, gone, say I know for your pitney, or you know what I mean.
Hallelujah.
So
Wow.
you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, definitely,
So
definitely.
the women society has identified that what is the strength and the backbone of society. It is not man. A kingdom, the kingdom is the woman, the man is the king. But if you can put the kingdom in disarray, what would the king lead? If the king has no subjects, the king has no purpose.
All right.
Right now, you see walking around is a lot of men without a focus, without goal, without a kingdom to rule over. The first kingdom you rule over is a home.
Me glad you touched that like turtles. Empress, would you like to come up? Shalom, Empress, welcome. Would you like to come up? Me like where you touch a while ago. Me do a video the other day where me talk about woman's intuition. And me I show them say what society call hypergamy is their intuition, because when a woman does seek for a man, she don't look for the best genetics. That's the first intuition of a woman, to look for the genetics. And as I mentioned about the kingdom, right? Where me I say when you have a kingdom, you provide for everybody inside of your kingdom. If a dog in the goat, everything in there, you meet your servants, everybody inside is provided for. So the woman wouldn't have to worry once she's inside of the perimeters of the kingdom. And then you provide, you protect the kingdom, and she, the queen, protect the king. The queen protect the king and the king protect the kingdom, and that's the dynamics of the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Just give me a second. Let me the brother come off. Let me just tend to some comments. Hold on there. the person say, like her to say, Empress Melanin, not for me. Then again, I'll let you in to track you, your device leave a digital print. Me
Long
feel
time
like
conversation.
by our CIA, you know, our FBI.